Hey Glam Dolls and Gems, this is Tanya coming to you from the Glam Queen's Kingdom with a process video for day 23 of the By the Well for God December Devotional Kit, and it is entitled 25 Gifts of Love. And yes, I'm a tad bit behind, but I only have a couple more days to complete this book and the devotional kit itself, and I figure I'm just going to go right through before I actually start my next devotional kit, which has already been released. I've already received it, and I'll be doing an unboxing here shortly, as well as the first couple projects in the next few days. But I wanted to complete days 23, 24, and 25, and then I want to put the book together, finally rebind it so that it's wider, so that the spiral bound area is enlarged to house everything that this book has is holding. And so when I first initially did this, I didn't take into consideration that it would grow that much, but it has. And so I'm just going to do that off camera, and then I'll bring it to you guys the final flip through. But anyway, for day 23, God had me up early this morning. I've been up, it's about 8:40 now, but I've been up since about 5:30, I want to say, and it's Sunday, and it's January 3rd, 2021, and yeah, I just kind of went through all the days and just kind of, you know, read my scriptures, took my notes, jotted down different things or whatever that stood out to me. And so for day 23, it's entitled Victory. And a couple things that stood out for me was God has given us a gift of victory through suffering. It says it doesn't sound particularly loving to include suffering, to include the suffering part. And the writer says our first reaction is, can't I just have the victory without the suffering? Wouldn't that be amazing? Holy God, holy God. That would be fabulous. Okay, if we can just bypass and skip the stuff that you have to go through in order to get the victory, in order for God to bring you to victory through Jesus. Yes, Lord. And so one of the scriptures that was referenced, it says 1 Peter 4, verses 16 through 19. My apologies. And the end of it says, therefore, let those who suffer according to God's will entrust their souls to a faithful creator while doing good. And then it says our eternal outcome is already determined. Praise God. It says in Matthew 5:10, Jesus promises that the persecuted will be blessed. In fact, in 1 Peter 4:12, Peter tells us that we should not be surprised by these trials. And then it says, where's the gift in this? It says that our salvation is assured and that we are blessed, and that how we face persecution will be a blessing to others. And let me just say that going back up here to Matthew chapter 5 verse 10, during my study, it said, well, basically, this Matthew 5:10 and what was promised there is the 8th beatitude of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, when he gave it to his disciples. And in my Jewish study Bible, my complete Jewish study Bible, it says, how blessed are those who are persecuted because they pursue. And in parentheses, I just wrote out, go after, run down. They pursue righteousness. They go after righteousness. They run down. They run it down. Righteousness. And it says, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. And then it says, they live for God. They live for Yahweh. It says, how blessed are those who are persecuted because they pursue righteousness. They run, they live for God. Yes, God. So anyway, I'm going to just kind of see where God leads us. I have a couple elements here that I want to try and incorporate into the page. So I'm not sure exactly which way we're going to go, but I'm going to put you guys on fast forward and see where we end up. See you in a second. So here you see me just tearing apart some of the paper here. I printed this on in iBooks and wanted to use the presents as a pocket for my journaling, to hold my journaling notes. And I'm just shaping the presents out. And what I did was I fussy cut them out from the printout, and then I used my funny scissors. You know, these are the scissors where you got like 20 in a package, and they had zigzags and all kinds of different scallops and things or whatever, that when you cut your paper, that's the design you had on your paper. So I found ended up finding these in my bag, and I just wanted to use something different. And so there, I'm just still fussy cutting those out, the little details. And then I decide to use those scissors, and there you see them, the purple ones. And I'm using my tape runner to adhere the presents to the page, but I want to leave the tops open so that I can just slide my journaling card inside and with ease. So I'm adhering, using the tape runner for all of the presents, and then I'm just going to set them just kind of where I believe I want them on the page, which is kind of midway through, right above the day, the tag displaying the day. And I like how they're kind of staggered, and that was the intent. And so I'm just trying to make sure that the glue is not sticking, so well that I can't slide a journaling card in there. And so I just used some of the Tombow glue there to make sure that the paper is glued down well. And so actually, though, the presents were on cardstock. And so here I thought I was going to use those letters that came with the kit, but I didn't. And so here I'm fussy cutting one of the Gigi images, and you all know that I love, love, love Gigi. And I'm just actually tearing off a piece of the paper pack to have her settle on, and at the bottom of the page. And you saw that at the beginning that I cut off her Santa hat because I wanted to use another element, a different element, to kind of do something a little different with her. She shows up in the beginning of my project, and so for this one I just wanted to do something a little different. So I'm just trimming off the excess card there and making sure that it's not hanging off the edge on the other page. And so then I take a piece of the faux washi. This was a digital download, and I just cut a piece of the faux washi. I printed it on clear sticker paper, and you actually have to cut this. It's not terrible like regular washi tape is. So there I'm just kind of making sure that it fits well, and just to kind of have a border on those edges there. And then I take a piece to place at the bottom to kind of cover up some of the ridges or whatever. I didn't want those in the project, in today's project. So there I'm just, making sure that it fits, and it fits nicely. And so there, Gigi, she's going to come to life here in a minute. And I use my my little art knife tool there to kind of cut away the flowers. I cut away the flowers that she was holding originally, and then I cut a slit in her in the front of her where she was holding the bouquet. And I want to actually set that cardstock element that was a part of the kit. I just want to set that in her arms instead of the bouquet of flowers, just to make it appear that she's holding a present. And so there you see me just kind of tucking it, moving it around, adjusting, cutting off additional paper from the ephemera, the edges, and just you know, making sure that the gift is in there really well. And I'm cutting off the excess with my scissors. And so I'm going to, in a moment, put the present on adhesive dots so that it pops off the page once I have it trimmed properly. Let me say also, if you have not gone over to ByTheWell4God.com, please do so. They have an array of Bible devotional kits, journaling Bibles. They have resources and just something for everyone. And so, you know, support their business. They are amazing, and their team is amazing. And yeah, you won't be sorry. Also, if you enjoy this content and you enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know, you know, what you think. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And yeah, let's go through 2021 together. So here you see me finally getting the pop dots on and adjusted. And then I'm going to use a piece of washi tape to glue down the back of the insert there so that it doesn't move. I just want to make sure that it's secure, and I don't want any issues later. And so there you see me using some of the Park Lane bows. I decided to put a bow on Gigi instead of using the Santa hat. And so yeah, there you see me trimming off a little bit of her dress. Just trying to, you know, make sure that there's room enough for her little bow. And so there I'm taking my Tombow glue, and I'm just gluing her down to the page. I don't want her to pop up off the page because her bow is going to pop up off the page. And so I'm using my Wow embossing pen, and I'm actually going to add a lot of sparkle to Gigi just to kind of wake her up. I'm going to add some to the top of that present. I'm going to add some to the frame of her glasses. And yeah, we're going to use some black Wow embossing powder. It's the it has like it's sparkly. It's just sparkly, and it's beautiful. I love it. And so there I'm shaking off the excess, and I'm going to pour it back in the pot. And I'm going to use my heat tool to make it come alive. And so it's going to melt the embossing powder to this beautiful sparkly black, which is awesome. And then you see me just, I'm like, oh, okay, the sparkle. I've never used the black. So I'm like, let me use the black. And so there you see me using my Wow embossing pen on the top of each page. I mean, each present. And so I'm making sure that the sparkly that's on the present that she's holding is also included in the presents that are going to be housing the note card. And so I love that black sparkle Wow embossing powder. It's beautiful. And so there I'm shaking off the excess, putting it back in the pot. And yeah, I'm going to take my heat tool, and it is awesome. And I love to see how it comes to life, like it melts. You can see the melting taking place. And look at it. Oh, the sparkle. What? Yes. And so there I'm like, I may as well go all the way then. And so I take the Wow embossing pen, and I put some on the day, and I'm like, yes. And so I'm like, everything's going to be sparkly. You know, my belief is you can never have enough sparkle. Yes. And so I'm like, oh, the day is going to have some sparkle. Yeah, it's going to be sparkle everywhere. Yes. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And so there I'm just using my red, it's the Tombow markers, And it's just the bright red, and I wanted to fill in her mittens, and I also wanted to fill in her skirt. And yeah, I love it. And look how it's coming to life. Look how the colors coming back in, and just, you know, oh, I love that. And so I'm just going around, just making sure that it's together. Then I'm using a gray sparkly pen. Just any gray sparkly pen will be fine. And I just had one on hand. It's not my absolute favorite. It's sparkly, but it's like a darker gray. And so it's okay. It's all right. I had enough sparkle going on. And so then I take my Jelly Roll number 10 white pen, and I'm just going around the dots on the present, and I'm just kind of filling in. I'm using my liquid pearls in white, and yeah, just putting those dots on the present so that they come alive a little bit. Adding a little bit of dimension there. And then I'm like, you know what? All of the presents need some life. And so I just take the liquid pearls, and I go around the dots on the presents, and as well as the outlines, the squiggly lines. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me add a little bit to the top of the bows. And so there you have it. I was trying to be careful not to put my wrist in the liquid pearls that I had just put on the present that Gigi is holding. And so, yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to put them on the numbers. And I don't know. I love embellishments. I just think you can never have enough. That's my firm belief. And so here I'm using the Park Lane, I'm sorry, La Petite. Yeah, La Petite. I'm sorry. I said Park Lane initially. It's La Petite. And I believe I got those from Hobby Lobby. And just putting some adhesive on the glue, adhesive on the glue. Putting some glue on the bow just to have some reinforcement there. Using my tweezers there to make sure that the placement is correct and right where I want it to be. And I'm placing it right above her frames. And yeah, I absolutely love that. And so there I'm just adding a little bit of lips to Gigi. And then I take my black pen. I have to give her some eyelashes. I have to give her longer lashes, the little glam lashes. Yes. And then I need to do something with her hair. So instead of coloring in her hair, I decide to just leave her strands black. And so you see me just using the pen to kind of outline these squiggly curls for her hair. Usually I give Gigi blue, green, pink hair or whatever. But this time I figured, you know what? I just want the black strands to hang and dangle. So again, my hand hit the liquid pearl, and so I had to use my little pen the liquid pearls again to just fill in. And so there I'm just taking my black micron pen to just kind of fill in some of the black areas, outline some of the creases in her skirt. And yeah, just little things, tidying it up. One thing that stood out for me was Matthew 5:10. I'm going to read it again from my Complete Jewish Study Bible. It says, "How blessed are those who are persecuted because they pursue righteousness." They live for God. That's what the pursuit of righteousness is. That means they live for God. For the kingdom of heaven is theirs. I absolutely love that. Here you see me using one of the labels. I adhered to just some black cardstock, and I'm using some letters from a previous kit because they were dark, and I had all of the letters that I needed there on that sheet. And so I'm just spelling out the word victory, which is the title for day 23. And it says, God has given us a gift of victory through suffering. And, it doesn't always feel that way. Like the note here says, well, it doesn't sound particularly loving to include the suffering part. the first reaction is, can't I just have the victory without the suffering? Wouldn't that be amazing? Like, that would be amazing. But what would we learn from it? I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't like that too, but I'm just saying, how would that benefit me, you know, for eternity? That's a good question. And so here I just used the tau alphas to spell out 1 Peter chapter 4. And I didn't put the verse on there because there were several verses, verses 14 through 16. You have verse 12 that was amazing. It says, Peter tells us that we should not be surprised by these trials. Wow. And so I'm just cutting this out, and I'm going to actually trim it out so that the label part, it looks like a label. And I'm leaving some of the black border from the cardstock showing. I'm using my matte gel medium as usual to put on top of the letters so that they stay over time. And then I'm using my double-sided adhesive tape, foam tape, to pop the label up off the page and make sure that it stands up. So I'm putting that down. And then I just use a scrap piece of the paper from the paper pack that I had. I staple it using my tiny attacher to the black cardstock, and trim it off with those wacky scissors. That's what I'm going to call them. The wacky scissors. Yes, I like that. The wacky scissors. And so I'm just making sure that the card will fit into that particular area, the pocket that I made out of the presents. I'm using a blue metallic marker just to write out the scripture that I just read to you all, Matthew 5:10, from the my Complete Jewish Study Bible. And I read that version because I like to see it and hear it in a different way. And for some reason, when I read the scriptures in that particular Bible, it just seems to connect my my faith. I don't know, it just does something to me, and it just makes me see things a little different. And so it's awesome. I love it. It's complementary to my King James versions and any other version of the Bible that I read. So there I'm just writing out my journal card. And then I'm going to adhere a label. This was one of the ones that I printed on cardstock. I enlarged it, printed it out in iBooks, and it makes for a great little pull at the top of my card there. And then I realized, you know what? I can actually use that as a journaling spot. It's empty. So later you'll see me do that. So I'm just kind of, I couldn't for some reason put my hand on my bone tool, and I'm just using whatever I can. So I'm using the pen to the Jelly Roll pen to make sure that it's all pressed down and everything or whatever. And so I'm happy with this.